Good day. My name is Charles Isabirye. I live in South Africa, and I'm originally from Uganda in East Africa. This is my response to the Langara College Full Stack Web Development entrance questions. Thank you for listening to my response. Right, I've just made some notes here and on the questions. So, first question is, why do you want to complete this program? How will it help you over the next 3 to 5 years? So, first of all, um, why I want to complete this program is because I have recently embarked on a couple of startups. There's one in particular that I'm working on right now, but I've been involved in a couple before. What I've found in the past is, due to my educational and work background, I found myself very often hamstrung by the fact that I'm not very technical, and I struggle in the beginning of the startup to rapidly prototype my ideas. I'm usually the idea person because I have a background in management consulting and I've worked quite broadly across various industries. So I'm able to identify the gaps and the opportunities within the market, and I'm able to develop a solution, a conceptual solution, but very often find it very difficult to execute on my idea. And working with commercial software developers is expensive and very often doesn't yield the results you want because they often don't understand your concept, especially if it's new and innovative, and very often just becomes really expensive iterating through the process of developing the idea and getting to a proof of concept. So this will really help me to rapidly prototype my ideas and put them before um, potential partners and funders much quicker. So this is exactly how it will help me over the next 3 to 5 years. Second question you posed was what technical experience or work or education has prepared you for this kind of program? How will you prepare for entry into the program? So I've worked quite extensively as a management consultant, as a process analyst, as a business analyst. I briefly worked as a test manager, mostly for UAT. This is in the financial services sector. So my background is really in solutions, in analyzing problems and producing solutions. Although my solutions will typically be conceptual because my background was in accounting and finance, and my work has not been in actual code or on the technical side. I've been purely a project manager, so I know conceptually what is required, but what I need is to learn what to execute, how to execute it. So the technical experience that I bring is really a background, that kind of background. What I did do many years ago is I took a course in Java and Visual Basic. Now, when I say Visual Basic, I'm sure you realize how long ago that must have been. So that is really obsolete. But I did learn some of the concepts. I do understand conceptually object-oriented programming and that kind of thing. How I'll prepare. I've taken up some short courses. I'm taking up some short courses in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I just want to understand the full stack. I won't be fully competent at the end of those courses, but at least I'll have an entry point into a more substantial program at Langara College. The last part is I was supposed to select a problem that I was going to solve, and the one I selected was um, given a list of numbers, determine which number occurs most frequently in the list. If there's a tie, give any one of the most frequently occurring numbers. Okay, so I decided to marry technical and a conceptual logical solution. The reason is simply because I don't know, I'm not technical enough to prepare to write code and test it and so on at the moment, but at the same time, so my strength is more on the logical side, but I feel like I need to marry them in order to explain my solution properly. So the first step I'd do is I'd create two arrays. One array holds the original list of numbers, and let's call it, for example, number list. The second array holds the list of unique numbers within that list, and I've called it, for example, unique number list. Second step, I'd create two variables. The first variable counts the frequency of each number in the first array. Excuse me. Second variable holds the address or the location of that number in the unique number list. So that's the third. So the third step would then identify the unique numbers. I made the assumption that there's some kind of method or function in a library somewhere in this hypothetical programming language that extracts the list of unique numbers from a list of from an array. So I'd use that method to extract the unique numbers and then assign them to the various positions in the unique number list array together with their frequency. So that's a two-factor array. And then the fourth step, which is the last step, I would create a loop, which in turn selects each of the unique numbers, and then a nested loop that checks against each of the items within the number list, and each time it finds a match, it adds to the count variable. Once it's completed that loop, it then assigns that count variable to unique number list for that position, the position of that number that it's looping through, and then breaks and goes back to the top loop, selects the next number and loops through. And at the end of it, it produces the list. Thank you very much. That's my